Y'all, we're going to talk about a cool topic today, and this is something that a lot of people ask me about. Like, Sara, how do you come up with all of your ideas for social media content? You're always putting stuff out there. And like, I don't know what to do on my studio page and yada, yada, yada. So we're going to untangle all of this today. And I'm going to be sharing with you 3 tips that I use for curating content. And we're going to get into a cool discussion. And I'm going to detail a brand new ebook that is just being released by Savvy Music Studio. I'm really excited to talk to you all about this. So lots of good stuff happening today. All right, if you are joining me live, be sure to say hello and let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching this on the replay, know that I love to come back and have conversations with you. So jump on in like it's live. And so if whether you're watching on The Book of Face or on YouTube or on Instagram, I'm excited to have a conversation here with you today. So we're going to dive into this topic in just a minute, and let me make sure that all of the things are working. Hey there, Singing is Healing has joined us over on Instagram. So has New England Piano. Nice to see you both. Hey there, Susan Stevenson's tuning in from Ohio, taking his jump from Instagram over to Facebook so she can see the fancy things. Hey there, Shannon Boyce. It's nice to see you. All right, so let's dig into the topic of the day. I'm excited to talk about this one because it's something that comes up quite frequently. And I wanted to explain a little bit about why I'm choosing this topic. One, I have a lot of teachers who ask me, how can I create content for my studio? Or they've come to me and they said, you know what, I know that I have to keep my socials active if I want to be found online, but I just don't know what to post. And I did some thinking about this last week, and I think I've come up with a really good reason as to why we struggle with creating content for our businesses. And I'm going to share that with you in just a moment. If you are new here, I just want to say welcome. My name is Sara Campbell. I am a business strategist, mindset, and marketing coach for music studio owners and online education experts just like yourself. And every Wednesday, I go live in all of the places where we get to talk about those topics. And today, we're going to be diving into social media and marketing. But before we get to that, let's play a little intro music. Okay, and we are back. So let's dig into why I'm bringing up this topic. So what we're going to be going over today is I'm going to share 3 tips with you for planning your social media content. And my hopes is that these tips that I'm sharing will make this process easier for you and hopefully clear out some of the blocks that might be there when it comes to curating content, because I know you're busy and you've got a lot on your plate with running your studio and teaching the people and creating the online courses and dealing with clients and doing admin stuff, right? So like coming up with social media content might feel like just another thing on your plate. Well, we're going to talk about why we often struggle with creating content like this. I'm going to share a little story that I think will shed some light on the issue that you might be facing. And then we're going to get into these 3 tips. Hey, Ashley, thank you. I love that intro video. It was super fun to make. Okay, but before we do that, why can I not find the things? Give me a moment. Having trouble on the back end. There it is. Okay. Let me get this out of the way. And I just want to let you know that I do have some cool things set up for you today. First off, I'm launching a brand new ebook, and I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later in the broadcast. But if you'd like to learn about that ebook, it's going to be attached to the show notes today. So if you do want to get a hold of the show notes, this is something I have set up with the chat bot. If you drop the word tips down below, if you're on Facebook, if you drop the word tips, the Savvy Sara bot will reach out to you via Messenger. For those of you watching on YouTube, if you're live with me, if you click the link that I just shared in the chat, you can get a hold of that. Or if you're watching this on the replay, you can look inside of the description and you'll see the special link where you can get a hold of that. I don't know what I'm looking at here. Okay, so that's one thing. Those of you who are watching on Instagram, if you want to drop the word tips, I'll write down your name, and then I'll reach out to you via DM, and I'll get you that information, because I'm going to have not only the show notes today, but I'm going to be sharing information about the new ebook that we just did a soft release of, and pretty excited about it. All right, so let's get to it. If you hear something today in the broadcast that is valuable to you, I would love for you to contribute to this conversation, because this conversation is way more fun with you jumping in. So if you hear something that is valuable to you, give me a hashtag takeaway and share what that value is. It's not only, for having a good conversation, because that's what these broadcasts are about, right? Having a good conversation. It's also for those who might be tuning in on the replay. When they see your takeaways, they're going to get intrigued. They're going to see that, ooh, I do want to listen to this. So it's good stuff. Share your takeaways. All right, let's get to it today. I'm going to jump into the issue before we get into the tips. Okay, here's the issue that I see. I was thinking about, okay, I want to share these tips, but why? Why am I sharing these tips? Why are they important? Here's what I discovered last week when I was thinking about, why is it that we struggle so much with creating content for social media, and why is it that I see so many teachers and clients of mine who struggle with creating this type of content? And here's what I came to the conclusion of, right? I want you to think back to the beginning of social media. Now, okay, we could seriously fall down a really scary rabbit hole here. So we're not going to take it too far back. I want you to think back to when the Book of Face first started. The way that we were using it is very different than how we're using it now. And here's what I kind of stumbled upon. As a human being, right, you probably do not plan out your content that you're going to post on your personal page, do you? Right? You're not oh, okay, it's Sunday and you're sitting down and thinking, all right, so on Monday, I'm going to post a picture of my cat. On Tuesday, I'm going to talk about the tacos that we're making for dinner. On Wednesday, I think I'll post an inspirational quote. That's just not how we engage with social media as a human being, right? Now, if you are engaging that way, hey, I'm not, more power to you, I guess. If you're that organized, fabulous. But that's not how social media really works when you're engaging with it as a human being. You don't plan out your personal content. You post what's on your mind. You scroll the news feed. You show up, right? It's basically walking over to the water cooler. So this is where I think most teachers get stuck, because when we first started using social media, we were using it as a human being and we were not planning out our content, as we shouldn't have to, right? It's the water cooler. So because we typically don't plan out content, what we do is we sometimes approach our business pages and our business profiles as we would a regular person. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't show up as a regular person. I very strongly believe in showing up as your authentic self, no matter what you are posting on, if you're posting on your personal page or if you're posting on a business page. But here's the deal. Because we're kind of engaging with it as, what we've done on our personal profiles, we don't plan our content. And we think, okay, instead I have to wait for inspiration to strike. I have to wait for like that perfect picture to come up on my phone, or I have to wait until I have this brilliant idea and I just don't know when that's going to happen. And then here's the issue that we fall into. We wait for inspiration to strike. We get distracted with other things. And before you know it, it's been 3 weeks and you haven't posted anything on your social medias for your business. And okay, for some of you, if you have like a totally full studio and you're not looking to bring on any clients, like it's really not that big of a deal not to post a ton on your social medias. However, if you are using your social media as a marketing tool and trying to bring people into your business with it, my mic is getting droopy here. Let's see if we can fix it. If you are using it as a marketing tool and you have these giant gaps of time that you're not posting anything, then we're not using our marketing tools effectively. Okay. I see this. Pete, distracted, yes. Ashley Conway is saying, guilty. And Amy Clovis, thank you for that takeaway. That just makes me feel so awesome. Okay, if you've ever struggled with what I've just described here, I'd love you to let me know. I felt like when I had these thoughts last week that they felt pretty important and that they felt like kind of big to me. It's like, oh, wait a second. This is why we're struggling with social media. Because we are approaching it not as a business owner, but as just a human being. And there's nothing wrong with just being a human being. I've had too much coffee today, guys. Can you tell? I only normally have 1 cup, but I've had 2. So welcome to the broadcast. This is the 2 cup of coffee broadcast. All right. I see that Susan says, yeah, my bad. Tegan says, totally. All right, good. Ariana is joining us over on Instagram. Welcome, welcome. We are talking about social media planning. All right, so the issue is that planning does not come naturally to us. So once I stumbled across this, I thought, all right, how can I help people come to a process of planning that's going to feel not too stressful. And it's not going to feel too prescriptive either. Because I know that there are a lot of resources out there, calendars, like social media calendars or, 365 prompts for you to do your social media. I don't want to approach it that way, right? I want to give you space to come up with your own creative content because I know that you're a creative person, and I know that no matter how many prompts I give you, you're not going to actually be able to create content that really allows you to shine unless we give ourselves permission to find that shine. So that's what this is about. I hope that makes sense. All right, here we go. Let's get into these tips today. There we go. Thank you, Ella. Ella's saying preach over on Instagram. Let me see if I can touch that without making everything. Okay, there we go. Ashley says, I haven't been planning. I'm so busy with teaching and performance, and I haven't made the time, and I need to. All right, so I'm glad that you mentioned that, Ashley, because I think that these 3 tips are going to help you find some time. So let's go through some of these tips. I see that Ella is saying content calendars have been helpful for me. Oh, have never been helpful for me. Yeah, I understand that. I've downloaded lots of content calendars, and sometimes for me, they just feel overwhelming. Sometimes some of the ideas are good, but then I have to do a lot of work to make the ideas fit my specific business. So I've got some ideas, I think, that will help you create your own content. So let's go through them, shall we? Here is idea number 1. And this is something that I see a lot of people missing, myself included sometimes. So I'm glad to share this particular topic. Oh, yeah, Deb, I totally get you on this. Like Deb is saying, I can't keep up with them. And she's talking about content calendars, right? So when you can't keep up with a content calendar, no matter how amazing it seems, I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I can't keep up with something, I have a tendency to then feel like I have failed at that thing, and then I just don't do it at all, and all that content keeps piling up. So this kind of ties in with what we're going to say on the first one here. Yeah. Exactly, Ella. Sometimes they're just not relevant. So the first thing is that we need to have a place to actually generate ideas, not just to generate ideas, but to collect ideas. So I think there's a couple of things that we can consider here. One, having a place, like a physical place or a digital place to collect ideas is key, right? I was going to demonstrate with my phone, but I think I left it somewhere. I don't know where it is. If you are doing all of your content creation via your phone and doing it with thumb typing, then here's the issue. One, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but if you're creating your content on your phone to post on your platforms, you run the risk of losing a post. I mean, you can like type it all up and all that stuff, and you're on that platform and you're typing it all up and you're just about to post it and the app crashes. That is a terrible feeling. If you've ever felt that, I commiserate with you. I've been very frustrated in the past when things like that have happened to me. So we run the risk of losing our hard work. First. Second, if we don't have a place to put these ideas, then, we don't have a place where we can then go later on to look at things that we might be able to repurpose. This is something that I was just talking about with the Branding Bootcamp bunch. And we were talking about the fact that we can repurpose content, but it makes it easier to repurpose content if we have a place where all of the content lives. Now, of course, you can go onto your social medias and look at posts that you've made in the past, and pull from those posts. But I'm going to propose like a kind of a catastrophic situation here. What if one of those platforms were to just disappear, right? We don't technically own the content that we have there. So this is why in the last year or so, I've really been encouraging clients to create their content in a place that's not on a platform, a place that, you can save digitally or that, you actually have physically. So when I say have a place to generate ideas, I'm not going to say like there's just one place to do this. I'm not going to say like everybody needs to write their posts on Google Drive. No, that's not what I'm going to say. I'm going to say you find the place that makes sense for you. If you're a Word doc kind of person, use that. If you are a pen and paper kind of person, use that. If you love Google Docs, or I'm trying to think of some of the other storage things like Dropbox, whatever, have a place where you can generate those ideas. Hi there, Ciliana's studio. Sorry, my phone's far away and I have to squint in order to read your name, but hello, welcome. Yeah, Tegan's like, that is the worst. It is the worst when you've like spent 20 minutes crafting a post and you're about to post it and then the app crashes. So first and foremost, have a place to generate ideas. You pick where that happy place is. And then to tie in with that, I think another thing that's really important, and one of the reasons that we struggle with coming up with content is that we haven't built in a time to do it. So have a place and a time to create your content and build it into your schedule. Hey, let me see if I can heart that. Yeah, I can. I see Pete. Pete, you have mentioned this before. I think it's so interesting. Bublup.com. He #loves it. And he's been using it for years to save everything. And he uses it with students as well. Yeah, Ciliana, I think I'm Cilian's. I can't. Ciliana, yeah. Again, glasses, right? They're super thick, like Coke bottle thick. Ciliana is saying over on Instagram that she's never built in time for that. Hey, guilty, right? I have done that too. So we need a place and a time to generate ideas. That is your first item. That's your first action step, as I would tell my one-on-one clients. So write it down, right? Build in time and build in a place for you to generate ideas. That's the first one. Okay, the second tip is this. Here's the second tip. Create a variety of content. So what do I mean by that? Well, there's all different types of things that we can post about. And I think this is where a lot of teachers feel stuck because we see our business pages as places to talk about our business, and we interpret places to talk about our business as places that we advertise. And we confuse the concept of marketing with the concept of advertising. And while they are similar, they're not the same. So oftentimes when people are trying to think of what should I post on my social media, we immediately like go to the easy thing. We're like, I'm going to post that I have open lessons. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I do encourage people to make the offer on your socials. That's important. But if everything that we're doing with our social media posts is all about making the offer, people will very quickly tune us out. So we need to be able to create a variety of content. Part of that content will actually be making the offer. And, we can talk about that in a much wider conversation on another day. But let's go through some ideas for content categories that you might consider. A few categories that I think work for just about any business, and I'm going to talk about this, of course, in the scope of a music business, would be one, student spotlights. Student spotlights are fabulous. It's a great way to shout out the clients that we currently have. And it's a wonderful way to use your social media. For those of you who are listening live or on the replay, I'd love to know who here is doing consistent student spotlights, or if you've done some spotlights in the past, let me know. Have they been successful? Now, there's all kinds of little things that we can get into to, this is crooked and it's driving me bonkers, adjusting the clothing. All right. There are all kinds of things that we can get into to make student spotlights even more successful, right? But student spotlights are just one type of content that I think that would work for just about any business. Some other pieces of content that I know are really popular because I've tested them out for myself and I've tested them out with clients would be making posts that are like behind the scenes posts. Hey, your pure voice just joined on Instagram. Nice to see you. We're talking about social media tips. Deb asks, daily or weekly? This is a great question, Deb. Hang on to that for a second. I'm going to come back to it. So let's talk about some of the different types of content, and then we can talk about what is the frequency of them. So we talked about student spotlights. The second thing that I just mentioned would be behind the scenes posts. Those are hugely popular because people love to know what you're doing. Whoever's blowing up the hearts on Instagram, I love you. If you're on Facebook and you're enjoying this content, let's have a contest between Facebook and Instagram. Facebook people, give me some of these and some of these, right? Okay, but so behind the scenes posts are so much fun, and it can be simple as like taking a picture of your messy desk or taking a picture of like a pile of music that you're sorting through, and then give people details about what's happening. People love them. People absolutely love them, and it's something that it's really fun to create, and they're easy to create. So we have student spotlights. We have behind the scenes posts. Let me name a couple more here. Inspirational quotes, right? Everybody loves a good inspirational quote. And in fact, last month, that was one of the things that I worked on content-wise for Savvy Music Studio. I sat down and I thought, you know what? It's been a while since I found some new quotes. And so I have been collecting inspirational quotes. I'm actually going to show you right now, if I can reach behind my computer to grab them. I have a big pile here. It's a little bit messy, so this would be a good behind the scenes post. I only grabbed about 3 of the dozen back there. I have a daily calendar that I got. I don't even remember where I bought it. It might have been Aldi in the aisle of shame. Okay, because I love the aisle of shame. And every day it has a new inspirational quote. And I love it. Some of these quotes, they're okay, but some of them I'm like, ooh, I have to save this. So I have actually given these quotes a place to live on my desk, and I've been going through them. I'll visit it about once a month, and I'll look at the ones that I liked, and then I'll create some graphics out of them. And if what's really cool is that I've been tagging, like if the person is still alive and they have a social media account, I've been tagging their accounts on Instagram and Facebook. And I've actually had some people like message me, which was really cool. But anyway, hey, just showing you that I'm following my own advice, right? I have a place for these things to live. It might be a little bit messy. It's on the back of my desk, but I have a place for these things to live, and I have set aside time once a month to go through them and actually create the content. So those are just some ideas for types of content. For those of you, who have other ideas of categories, I'd love you to share them down below. What are some typical categories that you use in your business? Share them down below so that we can get some ideas together. So, oh, I love that. Deborah Conquest says that she saves her content ideas on Trello. Awesome. Yeah. Trello, Notion, all of the things. There's so many different ways that we can save content. So coming back to Deb's question for a second, before we get to item number 3, Deb had a question like daily or weekly. So Deb, first, I'd love you to expand on this question. I'm going to answer it a little bit, but do you mean like, should I post daily or weekly, or should I post student spotlights daily or weekly? I'm going to think that it's the first one. So how frequently should you post? Oh, this is a loaded question. My answers typically depend on like what is going on in your business. So, what does your business need? What are your business goals, right? I love it. Ella says, just like that, you answered and gave me behind the scenes ideas. Hooray. I'm glad that works for you. Right. Focus, Sarah, focus. So how frequently should you post? Really depends on your goal. As I mentioned previously in the broadcast, if you are in growth mode and you're trying to bring on new clients and you are using social media as a way to market your business, then a higher frequency would be necessary, right? Oh, okay, great. Deb gave us, okay, the spotlight is what you're curious about. Good question. So kind of coming back to those goals again, if your goal is to bring in more clients currently, then doing student spotlights, maybe like once a week or twice a week, can be a great way to basically share social proof. You're going to be talking about how well your student is doing. You're going to be talking about their successes. Maybe you're using a quote from them. And that can be a great way to increase social proof because it'll show that people are happy working with you. And for those of you who are not currently looking for new clients, I'm not saying don't do spotlights. I actually think spotlights can be a good way just to keep our current clients happy. So if you do student spotlights and you're not currently looking for any new clients, you can use those student spotlights as just a way to celebrate and, share them out to the families that you've tagged. Send it in a text, tag them in the post, if they're on social media, things like that. There's so many different ways that we can use it. Okay, again, I'm looking for other categories. Share the categories that you love down below. All right, let's get to item number 3, and then we're going to wrap up the broadcast. So item number 3, this is important, and this is what comes back to, I mentioned at the top of the show, we've done a soft release of a new ebook that I've been working on since October. And here's item number 3, know what works best for the platform. Oh, social media is always changing. It's a good thing and a bad thing, right? Because once we get used to what a platform wants, and we've gotten into this groove of like, hey, I can take cool pictures for Instagram and then put them through cool filters and then make this beautiful grid and all that stuff. And then Instagram's like, oh, hey, I like video now. And you're like, oh, Instagram, whatever. That's just a sneak peek as to what goes on inside of my brain. We want to know what works best for the platform. So if the platform has told you that it likes video, it's time to think about making some video content. If the platform likes you to share links on it, like links to blogs and things like that, then that would be great. I'm thinking of some place like LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn might love for you to share articles that you've written, blogs that you've written, things like that. Whereas another platform like Facebook, they don't like for you to share links because it's taking people off of platform. So in planning your content, build some awareness around what a platform likes. So look at this. Ella is like jumping over to the YouTubes. I love it. That's so fabulous. All right. So let's wrap this up for you. Okay. All right, I'm going to do a rapid recap in a second, but before we do that, I do want to talk about the ebook that I've just released. So there's a brand new ebook. We haven't gone into full launch mode on it, so but we have pretty much everything done. The ebook is totally written and it's fancy and it's fabulous, and we have a way to deliver it to you. It is called the Get Found Online Field Guide, and I've written this specifically for music teachers and online music course creators. Now, I do think that the information in this ebook could probably translate to any business, but I have written this book from a standpoint of how can I make this easier for music teachers like you? And so in this book, I've got a bunch of stuff. I go through 11 different platforms. You don't have to use all of them, trust me. We've got 11 different platforms. I talk about what the platforms, how the platforms work, how they've changed over time, and how you can specifically use the platform to market your studio and to get found online more easily. There are social media platforms, there are search engine platforms, and then there are what I call hybrid platforms. So I've detailed all of those. And inside of that ebook, you'll also find 5 specific ways that using these platforms can actually help you grow your online presence if you're mindful about it. And I detail that at the beginning of the book. And then the book the end of the book, it culminates with a cool workbook area where I share 5 strategies that you can use to grow your online presence. And so there's I detail through the strategies and how you can make your own strategic plan in order to market yourself online. And I've given you places to like fill the things out and all that good stuff. So all of that made a fancy ebook. Here's what the cover looks like. Isn't that pretty? I can't point at it. It's over here. New ebook. If you would like to get a hold of this ebook, all right, you can drop the word tips down below, and the Savvy Sara bot will actually reach out to you and give you information about it. Or if you look for the link that I've dropped over on YouTube in the description, you can find information about the ebook there. I'm very excited to hear what you guys think about it. I've been writing this ebook since October. It also comes with several emails that will be delivered to you over the period of a couple of weeks that are going to further detail how you can get found online. So I've worked really hard on this. I hope you enjoy it. All right, all of that. Let's do a rapid recap today. If you guys are excited about the ebook, let me know, because I'm kind of excited about it. I don't know if y'all are, but I am. All right, here we go. When you started using social media, you started using it as a human being, and you were not sitting down every week thinking, okay, on Monday, I'm going to post about my cat. On Tuesday, I'm going to post about tacos. On Wednesday, I'm going to make an inspirational quote. That is not how we started using social media, right? Here's the deal. Because we started using social media as human beings, and then we started using social media as businesses, we often are still trying to come up with content in the way that we did for our personal pages. And so we're waiting for inspiration to strike, and before you know it, it's been 3 weeks and you have not done anything on your social medias. So here are 3 tips that you can use in order to become more strategic with planning your content. Let's go through them rapid style. Tip number 1, have a place to generate ideas. It can be in a notebook that you keep on your piano. It can be on your phone in an app, not a social media app, in an app where you would actually save text. It might be in some place like Google Drive. Maybe you're using, the Google Word thingy, or whatever you're using. It could be Trello. Have a place where you can generate your ideas and keep them there. And in addition to having a place to generate ideas, make sure that you have time blocked out in your schedule so you actually create time to create content. All right. Number 2. Create a variety of content. So I know that we all kind of jump into, oh, it's social media platform, I'm marketing myself, therefore I am advertising myself, and I'm going to post about the offerings in my studio. That is just one type of content. Think about other types of content that could be engageable. Think about the 4 E's that I've talked about before, right? We educate, we entertain, we engage, and we empower. I had to look up number 4. I couldn't remember it. All right. So variety of content could be student shout outs, could be offers. You could offer things in your studio. It could also be behind the scenes posts. It could be inspirational quotes. Come up with a variety of categories that you can generate ideas in. And I think then your planning is going to be a lot easier. Number 3, know what works best for the platform. And if you're not sure, then it's time to research that. Now, I have some good news for you. I've done some of this research for you already. So in order to know what works best for the platform, we need to stay up to date as to like, what does this search engine platform need? What does the social media platform need? Is it video? Is it text? Do they like sharing links? Do they not? I know it's hard to keep up with this, but it's important because if we want our content to do well, then we need to be able to know what the platform wants, right? Okay, so if you are interested in knowing what the platform wants, I want to announce that we have a brand new ebook that is just being released. It's called the Get Found Online Field Guide, and it looks like this. I did it wrong again. This way, Sara, this way. So I've made this with music teachers specifically in mind, and it has details about 11 different platforms, and it has very specific ways that you can expand your online presence. So if this is something that you are interested in getting a hold of, if you drop the word tips down below, or if you look in the description of this video, if you're on YouTube or something like that, you will find a link where you can learn more about that ebook. And that is going to be it for today. All right. Thank you all for being here. I enjoyed having this conversation with you. And I see that a lot of people, okay, Corinne, I'm going to reach out to you via DM and make sure that I get that to you. Thank you so much. Pete says congrats on the ebook. Susan says she's super excited. Ella, thank you for your excitement. Yay, thanks. All right, if you enjoyed this video, do me a little favor right now and show me a little bit of love. Maybe you can give me some of these or some of these. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you can get notifications if you're on the YouTubes. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I will be back next week to talk about more goodness with you. And in the meantime, stay savvy and stay you, because you are an amazing teacher and there's no one in the world who's quite like you. And I think you're pretty dang awesome. Thanks, everyone, for being here. We will see you next time.